Hello, welcome to another wine talk. It's been forever since I had a wine from Côte-Rôtie, a place in the Northern Rhone that I tend to forget. Literally, the first thing that you see when you enter Northern Rhone from the north is Côte-Rôtie. The gates of the Northern Rhone open, and the very first place that greets you is Côte-Rôtie, a paradise for Syrah grape variety. However, you are allowed to grow a bit of Viognier. I think it's about 20% or something. And what's so interesting about this place, I kind of didn't know that in the red wine, you're actually allowed to mix Syrah grape variety and Viognier, granted that Syrah grape variety is at least 80%. So in this blend, I have 95% Syrah and only 5% Viognier. Viognier is a really aromatic white grape variety, so it's going to give us a bit more. The nose is really expressive. Wow. So the Northern Rhone Valley, just a really special place, kind of small. It's really small. If you look at it in the map, it's just like a little tiny strip of land. Beautiful place. Imagine like this Rhone River, it kind of flows. On both sides of it, there are these hillsides that accompany the river. And these hillsides, they're one of the steepest in the world. So imagine the vineyards that are planted on these hillsides, they kind of like almost are hanging from them. It is incredibly cinematic. The vineyards are planted on these steep slopes. They get beautiful sun exposure. The berries ripen wonderfully. And also at the same time, they are not easy to work. Because imagine, I mean, you're in these steep slopes. There are not really too many heavy machinery, too many tractors that can approach it. So it involves a lot of labor. You have to be a really hardworking winemaker to do the works in the vineyards there. But it's definitely worth it. You have very versatile soil composition, a bit of granite, you have a bit of limestone, clay, sand, and these iron-rich soils, which is quite nice. So let's talk about the winemaker, Christine Vernay. She is the daughter of the great winemaker Georges Vernay, who is a very established name. They call him the king of Condrieu, which is a wonderful site also in the Northern Valley, but for Viognier, so for very aromatic, very expressive white wines. And Christine Vernay took over from her father, Georges. She didn't plan on it, and she was actually hoping that her two brothers, one of them, would take over the business. But none of them wanted, and she had to come back from Paris, where she was working, to establish herself as a winemaker. And I really enjoy her wine philosophy. There are plenty of interviews with her, especially if you speak French. The very calm, very kind of sensual demeanor, the way she talks about wine, the way she philosophizes about what wine should be, about what is your role as a winemaker, and I really enjoy listening to her. What I enjoy about her is that she promotes, or she talks about the hardships of a woman in the wine industry, and she does acknowledge that it is a boys' club, especially in France, that you as a woman often are, as a woman winemaker, you're not taken seriously. But she has definitely changed that and continues doing so. So without further ado, let's check her wines. I've got my white piece of paper. So it is Domaine, Georges Vernay, and Christine Vernay as a winemaker. And you got the Côte-Rôtie appellation. And the name of the wine is Blonde du Seigneur. Okay, we've got 14% alcohol here, and it's a 2018 vintage, which is quite nice. Nowhere does it say that it's Syrah. You have to Google and check out that it is a Syrah grape variety, and also it's 85% Syrah, 95% Syrah, and 5% Viognier, in case I didn't say that yet. Let's check out the color. I love the colors of Syrah. Or Shiraz. Those are synonyms if you didn't know. So look at classical color. I don't see too many inkish reflexes here. It's more like your regular ruby color wine. It's so seductive. Oh my God. Wow. But just so sensual. Super complex too. You got layers and layers and layers. So let's get onto it. One. A beautiful fresh plum. This is figue. But also check it out. I've got basil and mint here. And I think both of them are, oh yeah, definitely. So definitely a bit of mint, more mint than basil, but because I had basil with me, maybe because I cooked with it today, a bit of, definitely a bit of leather. And also there's this spice, which is called Nelke in German, and it's cloves. I have that. So here's one clove, and this is how it looks like. This is how they look like in the... Oh my god, this is really pretty because this is like a flower spice. Every time. It's fabulous, it's spectacular. It's more fresh than it is tannic. I think the acidity right now is very dominates the tannins, and it's very, very refreshing. Kind of covers your palate like a little kilt, gentle, velvety kilt. You know what else I get on the palate? Especially in the aftertaste? There is this bitter note, but it's not like dark chocolate. It's more like Darjeeling tea. It's more like this black tea. The mouth is watering, and it really feels like it doesn't stay. It's not a surface wine. It kind of penetrates in all of your senses and gives you this grip, kind of holds your palate. So nice. Really beautifully done. Well, of course, I did not expect anything less from Christine. It's like you meet a very good friend, you've invited a really good friend, and it's autumn. You see this beautiful, you look outside the window, and you see these, if you see a tree, you see these trees, their leaves changing color, and you think, oh, you know what, it's time for a glass of red wine. It's time for those sweet and deep talks. And then you open a bottle of Blonde du Seigneur from Côte-Rôtie 2018, and you're just the right amount tipsy, and you sit and you talk about things